आज हम लोग रिफ्लेक्शन ऑफ लाइट के बारे में कुछ जानकारी हासिल करेंगे। मानव को जो सेंस ऑर्गन्स मिले हैं, 5 इंद्रियां मिली हुई हैं, उन्हीं इंद्रियों के माध्यम से उनके जो 5 विषय हैं, जैसे 5 इंद्रियां हैं आँख, कान, नाक, जुबान और त्वचा। तो इनके विषय हैं रूप, रस, गंध, शब्द एवं स्पर्श। इन्हीं 5 इंद्रियों के माध्यम से मनुष्य इस जगत की अनुभूति करता है, इसके बारे में जानता है। तो one of the sense organs which is more dominant, more powerful, and approximately 80% of the world is connected with that is our eyes. हमारी आँख जो है, आँख के माध्यम से हम लोग we see the things with our eyes. So how we see the things in this world? There are 2 types of objects. One which has their own lights. These are called luminous objects, like sun, stars, burning candle, bulb. These are the luminous objects. They emit their own light. They have their own light. These are called luminous objects. And the things which don't have their own light, but they got illuminated when the light from the luminous objects fall on them. So we see the things with the help of light. How we see? And what is the light? Light is a form of energy. When the light falls on any object or any object emits the light, first of all we take the luminous objects, which has the objects that have their own light, like sun. So when the light from the sun enters in our eyes, then we see the sun. Like we see the bulb, we see the tube rod. And unlike luminous objects, there are so many objects. Luminous objects are very few. The one is, the primary object is sun, then bulb, then burning candles. These have got their own light. Moon has not got its own light, so it is called non-luminous object. But we see the moon and we see it very bright. How I see the moon? The light from the sun, the light from a luminous object when falls on the surface, on anything, the some part of the light is reflected and it turns white, and that comes in our eyes. Thus we see that thing. We don't see thing in the dark. So light is a medium which helps us to see the things. Now, the nature of light. The nature of light. What is light? First of all, light is a form of energy. Is a form of energy And with the help of light, we come to see the things in this world. Light is a form of energy, and we see the things when the light emitted by a luminous 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 object enters in our eyes, or when the light reflected by any non-luminous object enters in our eyes. So this is the process by which we see the things in this world. Now, we have to discuss the nature of light, how it behaves, how it travels. Nature of light. First, start reflection of light. We should know something, the basic thing about the light. So, I am telling these things. This is the nature. प्रकृति क्या है, तो प्रकाश की प्रकृति क्या है, नेचर ऑफ लाइट. There are three theories about the nature of light. तीन सिद्धांत हैं. एक है तरंग सिद्धांत, wave theory of the light. Second is the particle कण सिद्धांत, particle theory of the light. And the latest one, third one, is the combination of both called quantum theory of light. So number one, nature of light, three theories. First is the wave theory. Light की प्रकृति वेव है, तरंग है. Wave theory of light. In this, the light is consisted of electromagnetic waves. Just like the light coming from the sun, it don't needs any medium for travel, for propagation, for coming from one place to other. It don't need any medium. Just like the earth receives the light from the sun. So there is पूरा space लाखों किलोमीटर अंतरिक्ष है. There is an empty space between earth and the sun. So light emitted by the sun travels and reaches the earth. So it don't need any medium. The wave theory says a light consists of electromagnetic waves. Electromagnetic waves. And we these waves, or you can say light, does not require any medium for traveling or propagation. Propagate, आगे बढ़ना. Same thing, propagation. So this is the wave theory, and we know this has a large range of wavelengths. Light has got, we see the white light, the yellow light, the red light, and when we see the rainbow, we see 7 lights. बैनिया, पीनाला, बैगनी, नीला, आसमानी, हरा, पीला, नारंगी, लाल, विग्योर, इंग्लिश में आप उसको 7 लाइट्स को विग्योर कहते हैं. तो मेन कलर्स ऑफ द लाइट, these colors tell us that wavelength of the light is different colors have this different wavelengths. So we see the light which has got the wavelength that we see, it is 4 into 10 to the power minus 7 meter to 8 into 10 to the power minus 7 meter. Is the wavelength of light waves, electromagnetic waves, which are visible to our eyes, that our eyes can sense. Is the wavelength of visible light or the light that our eyes can sense. Visual light की ये wavelength है, very short range wavelength out of total wavelength. Second nature of light है particle nature, particle theory, particle theory of light. As the name indicates, particle, so it is said that light travels. Light is made up of, light consists of tiny particles, small particles which travel with very high speed. High speed, you know the velocity of light, velocity of electricity are saying. The velocity of light is equal to V is equal to 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. The small particles, very tiny particles, very small, tiny particles light consists, बनी हुई है of tiny particles that travel with the high speed, very high speed. With a very high speed. Why very high speed, not high speed? Because the things that we use in our daily life, like car, buses, planes, the speed of these daily uses, instruments and appliances or things is very very small as compared to that of this speed. So it has been called very high speed. So this theory says that this has got the particle particle nature of the light. And third one is called quantum theory. Quantum theory says that light behaves both as the waves and as the particles according to the situation. जहाँ जैसी आवश्यकता हुई, जिस चीज़ का अध्ययन करना हुआ, जहाँ अप्लाई करना है वहाँ उस चीज़ को ले लेते हैं. तो लाइट बिहेव्स बोथ light behaves like wave as well as particle. According to the situation. स्थिति परिस्थिति के हिसाब से लाइट दोनों तरह से बिहेव करती है. And here we have, it is assumed that light has got a unit called photon, the bundle of light, a small bundle of lights. It has got the form of photon. Photon means bundle of light. B-U-N-D-L-E, bundle of light. A small bundle of light. Photon. Situation, light behaves like wave as well as particle. So what are the phenomena that says the light behaves like a particle and light behaves like a wave? Phenomena, these are diffraction, and interference and polarization. Diffraction, interference. जैसे रिफ्लेक्शन है उसी तरह की ये चीजें हैं. Just like reflection, these are the phenomena with the light. And polarization. These things are explained taking the nature of light by wave theory. And reflection, refraction, these are explained that light has got the particle theory, by particle theory, a particle nature of light. Light is consist of with small particles. So this is about the light. Now I will start the main topic. अब हम लोग रिफ्लेक्शन के बारे में बात करेंगे. व्हाट इज द रिफ्लेक्शन? The objects who don't have their own light, non-luminous object. How we see a scooter, how we see a bus, how we see a tree, means the objects that don't have any light, like table, chair, our room, walls of the room. So what happens when the light falls on a surface? The some part of it, that depends upon the nature of the surface. Well, it is well polished, best reflector, so some part of the light is returned back. So the returning of light is called reflection. Let us start. We have got a mirror. You use it in your houses often. Let this is a mirror, plain mirror. So we know that silver coating. Silver is the material which has got the property of reflection, which is the best reflector of light. So what we see the mirror and we see a red coat on the mirror, and inside the red coat there is a silver coating. And to protect, first the mirror surface is coated with silver, very thin layer of silver, and then to protect this coating, we apply iron oxide coating, red oxide coating upon the mirror, a paint on that silver coating so that it remains intact. Let this is the mirror, M dash, name the mirror. This is the point O on the mirror. We have to draw a normal line perpendicular on the surface. Mirror is put here, and this you say N by point O, ON. ON is the normal, called normal line on this point O. Let some ray comes from here and it comes here and it strikes at point O. A ray A incidents on the mirror and it strikes the mirror at O. As and when it strikes at point O, silver being the best reflector, it reflects major part of the light in this direction. say B. So here we use the terminology. The terminology AO, the ray which falls at point A. AO is called incident ray, a light ray, प्रकाश की किरण, incident ray. And OB is called reflected ray. And ON is called normal. It is named normal. We use these things. And one thing, why we have drawn the normal? Because the process of reflection has got two laws. So to define these laws, these will be applicable further in many studies. This incident ray makes an angle, this angle. This is called I. And जो रे वापस हो रही है, reflected ray makes an angle with normal. This angle is called R. So we have the angle I. Angle I is called incident angle, the angle of incident. Incident angle. And angle R is called angle of reflection. You may call it angle of incident, angle of reflection. Now there are two laws of reflection of light. The first one is number 1. You write here the laws of reflection. Of light. First one, these things, all the things, incident ray, normal and reflected ray, all these are in a same plane as it is sketched on the board. The board is a plane, so these are in this plane. So incident ray, reflected ray, and normal are in the same plane. क्लियर? वेरी सिंपल. ये प्लेन है बोर्ड का, इस पे हमने बनाया है, इसको लाइनें खींची हैं. ये सब लाइनें इसको छोड़कर, ये मिरर यूं रखा है, खड़ा खड़ा ऐसे ऐसे रखा है, ऐसे नहीं, ऐसे. तो ये मिरर का ये सरफेस, ये हथेली मेरी सरफेस है और यूं रखा है. Number 2, law number 2 says angle of incident and angle of reflection are always equal. Angle of incident and angle of reflection are equal. These are two laws of reflection. Now take another ray. This is first ray. Say this ray comes here. Yeah. This is A dash. Now from normal, this is the angle. Here say this is 60 degree. So the reflected ray B dash, OB dash is the reflected ray. Then normal say this angle, reflected ray का. This will also be 60 degree. अगर ये एंगल और कम कर लीजिए, यहाँ आ जाइए, like this. Let this be mirror. This is a point O. This is a normal. If this is the incident. This very small angle. If AO is the incident ray, this is the angle made by the normal. Say it is 20 degree. Then what happens? Normal से 20 डिग्री बनाते हुए ही ये रिफ्लेक्टेड रे भी, ये एंगल भी नॉर्मल से ये भी 20 डिग्री होगा. आप ये एंगल घटाते जाइए. This is your normal. ON is your normal. आप इंसिडेंट का एंगल घटाते जाइए. सपोज द रे ट्रेवल्स along this line ONO. So when it travels along this line, and what it means that angle of incidence is 0. So when it strikes here at O, this will return at 0 angle. अब reflected line इस एरो, ये लाइन जो आ रही है इसका एंगल भी नॉर्मल से 0 मीन्स नॉर्मली जाएगी, वर्टिकल जाएगी, वर्टिकल वापस आ जाएगी. It will travel vertically and after striking it will follow the same path, return vertically. How and why? Because this second law will follow. If the incident ray has 0 angle, any angle of ray with the normal is 0, then angle of reflection, reflected ray with the normal will also be 0. So these are the laws of reflection. मिटा दें. One thing more. This I told about the plane mirror. This is the plane mirror. But these laws are also true for the concave mirror, outer surface, or this one, concave plane, concave mirror. The reflecting surface is when is inside is the surface of inner surface of a sphere, and in convex mirror this outer surface of a part of sphere, एक स्फेयर से आप काट लीजिए जो डिस्क बन जाएगी छोटी सी, just like a small dish used in the house. So this point will be in the deep and this outer periphery will be this one. So this is a part of, so this is coated surface. This surface is coated with silver and protected with the red oxide, and this is the reflecting surface. Now any point, at this point this will be the normal, at this point this will be the normal, at this point this will be the normal. So in this way any ray will incident here. Let me take this normal. So the ray will come and strike at this point. So this angle will be equal to this angle. Both is true. The ray goes in this direction, there is come back in this direction. This is incidence ray, this comes back as reflected ray. You can reverse, you throw light from this along this, and then the light will come back from this path. Similarly here, as you know, in the case of plane mirror, this is it. But the orientation of these things, the normal and rays are different at different points, but the laws of reflection will follow for the concave mirror and convex mirror also will follow the laws of reflection. Okay, here we stop and we will meet next day. Thank you.